Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video we will learn how to attempt process chart or the flow chart. So what is the difference between the process chart and flow chart? These words are used interchangeably, you can use them, but for the specification purpose we need to distinguish between both of them. So moving ahead with the process chart. The process chart begins with the first stage and there is a final stage as well. There is outcome or the results are there. But in the flow chart, as you can see here, there is one block. There is one section given or something department can be given, and you can see the hierarchy here, right? So this is the difference between the process and the flow chart. Process chart is having the first and the last stage, and the flow chart does not have any stages. It is kind of a hierarchy, right? One more thing can be there as well, that is the life cycle. This is the third type of chart, or you can interchangeably use for the process chart, flow chart, or the life cycle. Life cycle may be of any particular thing, for example butterfly, or it may be of a spider, or it may be of a fish as well. First stage, then it moves to this, then it becomes this, right? So a life cycle can also be there. You need to identify that whether it is a process chart, flow chart, or a life cycle, right? Next, moving ahead with the rules to attempt the process chart. First is always use passive sentences. Yes, this is the very important rule. Otherwise, if you attempt the process chart in any other grammar rule, that will be wrong. You need to attempt your process chart in the passive sentences. Now, what are the passive sentences? For example, this is active sentence. Principal writes a book. And to make it passive, we will write, a book is written by principal. So, these are the grammar rules of writing passive sentences. Is, are plus verb third form. This is the present sentence, or if you want to write it in the past, you will write as was verb plus verb third form, right? But let me tell you, what you have to do is you will write your process chart or flow chart or the life cycle in present passive. You will not use past tense. You will only use present passive sentences to attempt your process chart. This is the very important rule, right? And the last rule is you need to use connectors after every step, right? So moving ahead with the connectors, what are the connectors to be used in process chart? If you want to say that this is the first step, you can say firstly, initially. In the first stage is that, in the first stage you can also write that to begin with, first of all, right? These are the connectors you can use to describe your first stage, right? Moving to the next, what you can use is next, nextly, next to it, then, after this point, what happened, right? Secondly, the final step. This is used to write the last stage, right? The last step is that finally. So next are the following this. This is the advanced connector. By using this connector, you will score high bands. In the next stage, in the next phase, after that, this is also the advanced connector. Later on, before, this is a very good connector that you can use. I will show you how you can use it. Subsequently, in the 10th step, afterwards. So these are all the connectors, and these are the advanced connectors that can make your flow chart or process chart very effective. Before moving on to the sample answer, let me tell you the difference between manufacturing and production, as this is the common word that is used in the process chart, right? So you cannot use these words interchangeably. There is a very huge difference. In manufacturing, there is some output. Which output? Tangible output, right? You will use raw material and there will be some output for that, tangible output, right? Production is used for something which does not consist of any raw material. For example, in case of electricity, you will write electricity is produced. You will not write electricity is manufactured. So please focus on the difference between that. You need to understand the difference between the both. Do not use these words interchangeably, right? So let's move on to the sample answer, how to use these connectors and how to write a process chart. So the statement given is, the diagram below shows the process of fish canning. So you need to understand that what is happening. What is the process? Is this a process chart or a flow chart? So this is a process chart. In the first stage, the fish is caught, right? And in the last stage, the fish is dispatched to the supermarket for sale, right? So moving on to the sample answer. A cursory glance at the rendered process chart. Yes, this is a process chart. Clearly depicts the information about the various stages involved in the process of canning the fish. This is the rephrase of the statement given. It is manifested from the chart that 14 steps are involved in this procedure, right? Some of the people will write this line in the overall. That is also correct. I will show you how. If you add this line in the overall, then you will not write this sentence in the introductory part. So if I haven't write this in the overall, so how I have made my overall effective? Moving on to the overall. Overall, it is clear that canning of fish is a lengthy and tedious process. Lengthy as it consists of 14 steps, and tedious means tiring, right? Each step is very important to retain the freshness of the fish, right? This thing has made my overall effective. You need to analyze that what is happening and what I can write. You can write these words, lengthy and tedious process, in every overall that you write for the process chart, but the process must consist of 10 to 15 or 20 steps. Then only you can write these words, use these words. If the process consists of only 5 to 6 steps, then you will write, overall it is clear that canning of fish is a very simple and relaxing process. You can write these words, right? Or you can attempt the overall in a different way. How it is? Overall, it is clear that it is a complex process. Instead of writing lengthy and tedious process, I have written complex process, which encompasses 14 steps, right? This is a rephrase of the above sentence. The process begins at catching of fishes and ends at dispatching to supermarket, right? So if you are using this line in the overall, you will not write this in the introductory part, as I have written this here. So I will go ahead with this overall, right? Moving to the BPs, starting with the first BP. Having a myopic look of the chart. This line you can use for every BP you describe, whether it is for the line chart, bar graph or flow chart, right? It is crystal clear that first, this is the connector. The fishes are caught. What is this? Present passive, right? Are present and this is passive. Verb third form, right? Then this is also a connector. Then in the next stage, the fishes are frozen at -18 degrees Celsius. So in this line I have used before. This is the advanced connector. Please focus on this, how to use this connector, right? Before being unloaded and weighed, the frozen fishes are stored. Before these steps, the fishes are stored. You need to understand. You can check it out in the diagram given, right? In the next step, this is also the connector, they are thawed. After this, they are cut into big pieces. This is also the third form. Do not write cut. This is wrong. I have seen many of the people using this word. This is wrong. This is the third form. Cut, cut, cut. Right? After this, they are cut into big pieces and are further cooked with the aid of steam. This is also the connector. Right? Or you can write this as, after this, they are cut into big pieces and are cooked with the help of steam. I have written aid of steam, or you can write it as steam cooked. Right? I've explained it in full. Moving to the next PP, probing further. This is the connector to start second PP. Or you can say that analyzing further. Right? Steamed fishes are cooled down. And in the ninth stage, this is the connector, the fishes go through the stage of flitting, in which, this is also the advanced connector, bones are isolated from the fishes, or you can say that bones and the fishes are separated, right? I have used the word isolated. In the 10th step, the cut pieces of fishes are filled in the can by adding brine water or oil, right? You can check it out, it is written there. You need to focus on each and every word written in the process chart. You cannot skip any word, right? Try to analyze the things very clearly. Nextly, the cans are sealed and further go through the process of sterilizing. Now, what does sterilizing do? By which microorganisms are removed, right? After cooling, the cans are labeled in order to identify the types of fishes. So this is the basic thing, that why they are labeled, why they are sterilized. You can add these points. This is not considered as your opinion. Some of you will say that you have added your opinion, but this is correct. You cannot write unnecessary things. This is correct. Fine. Before the final stage of dispatching, the labeled cans are stored in the warehouse. I have used before advanced connector. You can write this line as finally, right? They are dispatched to the supermarket for sale. I hope you have understood that how to attempt the process chart or the flow chart. Try to attempt the examples on your own. Try to do it. Please focus on the things I have told you, the advanced connectors. Try to use them. Thank you for watching my video.